Rarely have we seen a takedown of a league commissioner as calmly or efficiently delivered. The fact that it came from Nafisa Collier, one of the league's best players and most respected voices, only amplified.
Whoa, this is getting intense. Scott Van Pelt just called out the WNBA's leadership on live TV, and he did it with precision. On ESPN, SVP calmly but completely exposed Cathy Engelbert's failures as commissioner. Or, let's be honest, her total absence of real leadership. Fans across the league can't stop talking about it. When a voice as respected as Van Pelt's drops a reality check like that, it's impossible to ignore. So here's the big question. Has the time finally come for Cathy Engelbert to step down?
Response from WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert came in the form of a statement, which is itself a statement, but not one Engelbert should aspire to make. When a star player says directly, "We have the worst leadership in the world and you are the leader," your response that you're disheartened that your perspectives differ makes me wonder if you heard what Fee said. Because it's not differing perspectives.
Let's put things in perspective for a second, because this really matters. The WNBA has been in the spotlight like never before, all thanks to stars like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Buchers lighting up the scene. The hype, the drama, the excitement, everything was pointing toward a breakout moment for the league. It should have been smooth sailing, a chance to capitalize on massive momentum. But instead of celebrating record ratings or an epic final showdown, the big story dominating headlines right now is Scott Van Pelt roasting Commissioner Cathy Engelbert live on ESPN. And in true Van Pelt fashion, he did it with that calm, razor-sharp tone, polite on the surface, but absolutely brutal underneath.
Said, "I've earned this platform," which she had, and said, "I don't care what the fine is," which, if I hear her correctly, is to say you have nothing to threaten me with. The chorus of voices of current stars in the WNBA, which echo Collier's sentiment, didn't have a single opposing.
So why did this whole thing explode in public? Well, that spark came from Nafisa Collier earlier this week. During her exit interview, she didn't hold back, calling out the league's leadership as some of the weakest in all of professional sports. And she didn't stop there. Collier even revealed that Commissioner Engelbert allegedly told Caitlin Clark she should feel lucky to be in the WNBA, as if the league was doing her a favor. I mean, really? Did Cathy completely forget about Caitlin's record-breaking Iowa years? The massive nil deals? The fact that she was already earning more than most veterans before she even touched a WNBA court? That comment didn't just miss the mark, it set the internet on fire.
As for what Engelbert is alleged to have said to Collier, if she actually suggested Caitlin Clark should be grateful for what she makes off the court, that's preposterous. Did you miss the Iowa years? Clark is the Tiger Woods tide that lifts all boats, and we know this show is proof. The highest rating we have ever had followed one of her games at Iowa. The WNBA has benefited from her presence more than the other way around, even though this year for Caitlin Clark was essentially.
And that's exactly what Scott Van Pelt zeroed in on. He called out something that should have been obvious, yet somehow the commissioner completely missed it. Caitlin Clark isn't being carried by the WNBA. She's the one carrying it. The league's success right now is riding on her momentum, not the other way around. Van Pelt didn't need to shout it, he brought receipts. Every major ratings spike over the past year, tied to Caitlin Clark. College games, regular season matchups, even the All-Star weekend. Whenever she's involved, the numbers jumped. Oh, when the commissioner hints that Clark should be grateful, it doesn't just sound off, it sounds wildly disconnected from reality. And that's when Van Pelt really went in. No rants, no yelling, just that calm, surgical delivery that hits harder than any angry monologue.
From Elena Deladon on Instagram, who said, and I quote, "It's the care for the human part for me. I'm not sure Cathy knows I've retired. Heard from everyone but her." And I don't like to pile on, that's not my thing. But when a player is beloved, respected, and decorated as Deladon retires as a multiple MVP, league champion, 7-time All-Star, and member of the W25, which celebrated the top 25 players in the league's first 25 years, you throw that woman a parade. To fail even the most basic and decent things to do, which is to reach out to say thanks, which by the way couldn't be easier to do.
Then Van Pelt brought up Elena Deladon, and this is where things really hit a nerve. We're talking about a 2-time MVP, a champion, one of the most decorated players the league has ever seen. She just retired not long ago, and guess what she revealed? She heard from everyone. teammates, coaches, even rival players, but not a single word from Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. Let that sink in. A living legend walks away from the game, and the person running the entire league doesn't even send a quick message of appreciation? That's not just a bad look, that's a total lapse in leadership. Van Pelt didn't sugarcoat it. He called it exactly what it was, a failure to handle the simplest, most human part of the job. Send a text. Say thank you. Recognize your stars. It costs nothing but means everything. And when Engelbert finally responded, it wasn't with empathy or ownership, just another generic line about being committed to collaboration. Van Pelt was spot on. This isn't a case of different perspectives. This is a commissioner being directly called out as the issue.
According to Sportico, franchise valuations have soared. Players want more money, and the CBA expires at the end of this month. This was a whole lot more than just a shot across the bow. The WNBA Finals begin this Friday, and we typically hear from Adam Silver on the eve of the NBA Finals. Cathy Engelbert has got to do more.
Now here's where things go from bad to unbelievable. There isn't a single voice, not one, coming out to defend Cathy Engelbert. Not a player. Not a coach. Not even some random PR intern firing off a "we support our commissioner" tweet. Nothing. Instead, we're seeing the opposite, a full-on player revolt. Nafisa Collier lit the fuse, but now others are jumping in. Lexi Hull backed her up. Sophie Cunningham went scorched earth, calling Engelbert the most out-of-touch leader the league has ever had. And even Gino Orima, who never agrees with anyone, chimed in, saying the so-called physicality the WNBA keeps bragging about is actually ruining the game. When you've got rookies, vets, and Hall of Fame coaches all echoing the same message? That's not noise. That's a movement. And Scott Van Pelt zeroed in on that. He pointed out this isn't just spicy sound bites. This is happening right before the CBA negotiations. The collective bargaining agreement is up, and players are done being underpaid, ignored, and told to be grateful. When one of your biggest stars calls leadership the worst in professional sports, and other vets publicly agree, that's not business as usual. That's an uprising. Van Pelt said it perfectly. This wasn't a warning shot. This was Collier saying, "Fix it, or we'll blow it all up." And honestly, she's got leverage. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rookie. She's an economy. She drives ticket sales, sponsorships, media deals, all of it. If Engelbert really believes the league is bigger than the stars making it relevant, she's either completely disconnected or dangerously naive. Then came the officiating talk, because of course, Van Pelt didn't skip over the Caitlin Clark angle. He flat out said the idea that Clark owes her success to the WNBA is absurd. The facts are the facts. Clark brought her fame, her audience, and her value with her. The WNBA didn't create Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark supercharged the WNBA. Downplaying that isn't just bad optics, it's self-sabotage. And here's where Van Pelt made his most powerful point: unanimity. No one, literally no one, defended Engelbert. The silence was deafening. Instead, more players spoke up. Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, veterans, coaches, even names like Cheryl Reeve and Becky Hammon, who've both been fined for criticizing the league. When the criticism is that universal and the response that weak, it's a full-blown leadership crisis. And optics-wise, it's a nightmare. Right before the finals, instead of excitement and storylines about competition, every headline is "Players rip the commissioner, coaches fined, stars call leadership the worst in sports." That doesn't build hype, it builds resentment. Van Pelt summed it up perfectly: the league is at a flashpoint. Franchise values are climbing. Expansion talks are heating up. Media rights could be worth billions. This was supposed to be the WNBA's golden era. Instead, the commissioner's under fire, players are furious, and fans are wondering if they can even take the league seriously anymore. That's not growth, that's collapse, he said it best. When a player like Nafisa Collier says, "We have the worst leadership in the world," that's not an opinion, that's a call for your job. And he's right. You can't spin that. Either you fix it, or you step down. And here's the uncomfortable truth Van Pelt didn't have to say out loud. Adam Silver's watching all of this unfold. The NBA funds and supports the WNBA. And if ESPN's biggest voices, Stephen A. Smith, Van Pelt, everyone, are publicly questioning Engelbert's future, how long before Silver steps in himself? Fans are connecting the dots. Backhand index pointing right officiating is inconsistent. Backhand index pointing right, the commissioner barely communicates with players. Backhand index pointing right injuries are piling up. Backhand index pointing right legends are retiring without acknowledgement. Backhand index pointing right players are fined for speaking out. Backhand index pointing right, and now Caitlin Clark, the face of the future, is being minimized by leadership. It's like the league is tripping over its own feet at the exact moment it should be sprinting forward. Van Pelt didn't rant. He didn't scream. He just told the truth, calmly, clearly, and it stung. Because when fans, players, and even ESPN's biggest personalities all agree the WNBA has a leadership problem, it's not just a story anymore. It's a reckoning. Oh, now the question everyone's asking: does Cathy Engelbert step down, or does Adam Silver make the call for her?